Oh, hey guys, well I'm here with the one and only Mark McKenna. How you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Very cool.
Well, better than I was last night. Yeah.
Oh no, what happened?
Rough night.
Rough night? So how are you enjoying this con?
You know, it's one of the more local shows that I do. I'm doing 23 shows this year, and most of them I have to travel hours or by flight. But this one's an hour and 5 minutes. I'm in my neighborhood, so I feel pretty good about that. So even if it wasn't a great show, I'd still come in. And it's a good show. There's a good turnout. There's also a huge amount of comic artists here, and the competition's a little stifling because of so many guys here.
Very cool. Are you a local New Jersey native? Or?
I lived in New Jersey for 10 years in Bridgewater, New Jersey. We had my kids in New Jersey, and then I moved upstate New York, Orange County, New York. Excuse my hiccups. But we're going to be moving back to New Jersey in a week or so, into Gillette, New Jersey, which is part of Long Hill Township. So I'll be back to New Jersey after a 14-year reprieve.
Excellent. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Welcome back. So just a little bit about kind of what inspired you to become a comic book artist and some of the things that you experienced when you first started.
Sure. Well, I was a huge comic reader as a teenager, and when it came down to high school and what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, the guidance counselor said I had to make a decision. The only things I was really adept at was filmmaking. I used to make Super 8 films as a teenager, and I was into comic book reading. So we kind of put them both together, and I actually went to School of Visual Arts in New York City. I have a BFA in illustration, but I was an animation major for the first 2 years there because the chairman said, you have comic book background and you don't have a film background. You put them together, you kind of make an animation background. So it kind of worked for me for two years. I did that, and then I finally said this is way too much work for me to do. So I went into illustration, and I actually met the new talent coordinator of DC Comics. I was a teacher at Visual Arts, and he helped me get my leg into the door.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. What did you find was the biggest challenge of trying to break through in the industry?
I always find that it's not the first job that's the hardest thing to do, it's the second job. The first job is where you test your mettle and see what you have. The second job, the first job will let them know if you're good enough and can make deadlines to get you the second job. So I always find out if that's where we're directing your question. Yeah, it's kind of like that, So you might get your first job, but you also might have been working on your samples for a year. But now you're put to the test. You have to make a deadline in 3 weeks, and all the year's worth of stuff that you had, now you have to cram into 3 or 4 weeks, and so that's when you test if you can do this or not as a living.
Compared to what you've experienced in life, how do you feel about the change in technology that the industry is currently facing?
The problem for me is I'm 59 years old, and I'm an old goat that way.
59 years young.
59 years young, half glass, half full.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do things by hand. I'm not technologically advanced that way. I know how to use what I need to do to get by. I don't draw on a Wacom tablet. I draw still on paper. I scan my artwork into the offices. At one point, I was told by the X-Men editor that I was one of 15% guys that still send their artwork in hard copy through FedEx. And then I said, well, what are the rest of the guys doing? And he introduced me to doing, scanning artwork and high resolutions and stuff like that. So I do what I can. I do understand that it's a huge time saver, whereas you used to have so much time to do a comic, and a lot of the time was because of mailing and stuff. Everything was in the mail. But now, because of everything is email, you probably save weeks worth of time because of it.
Very cool. Very cool. And do you have any advice for anyone who wants to break into the industry, for newcomers?
Yeah, just that it's hard to be objective about your work. Your parents tell you you're the best artist ever, and you want to drink the Kool-Aid. You want to believe that, But the reality is, you need to work with pros, or understand what it is that pros do, and be in the trenches with them. If you're a new kid and you want to get into business, go to comic conventions, meet pros, you know, and pick their brain, you know, show them samples, you know, maybe they'll give you an opportunity. I think that's a lot of it in today's, because Marvel and DC, you can't just go in there and get an interview and get a job. They don't do that. They go to the bigger comic conventions, have art directors from the companies, and you can get into portfolio reviews, and that's how you get started with that stuff.
Very cool. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Welcome back to New Jersey.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see more stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good time.
Thanks so much.
Okay.